G'day battlers and good morning, because season 3 of the Silver Arena is officially here and it's time for the Sunrise Cup. Not only are we going to be going over the meta today, but I've actually also put up a Sunrise Cup battle video at the same time, so when you're done here you can go and check that out. It'll be linked in the description and at the end of the video. And this video is also titled part 1 because over the next month we're going to start getting granular into this meta, so be sure to subscribe for all of that. But straight out of the gates, the Sunrise Cup allows Pokemon with at least one typing of flying, grass, fire, ground or normal, and then rock types and megas are both banned. So without further ado, let's just look into what that means for the meta. So straight away you might notice that a lot of these Pokemon are massive in Go Battle League. And that isn't an accident. This cup is just perfect for those who have never battled in the Silver Arena, only ever done GBL, so they can join in this cup for the first time without too much investment. But let's start going through the matchups because I've laid it out a little differently to usual. So we've got three main groups here. We've got the Flyers up the top, in the bottom left we have the Anti-Flyers, and then in the bottom right we have the Anti-Anti-Flyers. And then we've also got Abomasnow hanging down the side, but we'll get to him after we go through the main circle, and trust me, he is an important one. So starting with the Flyers, we've got 5 different characters of Mantine, Skarmory, Altaria, Noctowl and Pelipper. These aren't the only 5 that can do some real work in this cup, because there's things like Zapdos or Articuno or Lugia, but this is a decent handful and we'll talk about the others a little bit as we go. So now the white arrow going through the Flyers means that the Pokemon on the left beats all of the Flyers on the right. So Mantine beats Skarmory, Altaria, Noctowl and Pelipper, Skarmory beats Altaria, Noctowl and Pelipper, Altaria beats Noctowl and Pelipper, and Noctowl beats Pelipper. And while this meta is broken up into Flyers, Anti-Flyers and Anti-Anti-Flyers, this is a simplified snapshot of the meta, so everything is not quite as it seems. While Vigoroth is going to lose to Mantine, Skarmory, Altaria and Pelipper, it actually comes out on top of Noctowl because of its normal type being weak to counter, and that actually goes for all 3 even shielding scenarios, although in the 2 shield it does get really close. Noctowl almost gets it out, but Vigoroth just comes out on top. Could be an IV thing, I'm not too sure. But by the way, in saying that, Vigoroth is looking to be a real monster in this cup. It covers a real chunk of the meta, and it's pretty hard to counter, so we'll kind of see how we go countering Vigoroth as we go through the cup. For those of you who played Jungle Cup, you know this guy can be a real pain. So Mantine is also beating Obstagoon, but then according to PvPoke, Obstagoon wins against Skarmory in the 1 shield, but man is it close. Like Skarmory goes down with a Brave Bird charged, which would be enough to take out the Obstagoon. Sky Attack wouldn't quite be enough at the time, so he does need to go for the Brave Bird. I mean, could probably go for the Sky Attack just to get the chip damage, but I feel like in real games you'd be better off going for the Brave Bird to attempt. Like maybe they've missed one turn or something, you might be able to get the Brave Bird off, that sort of deal. And it's a similar story for Noctowl too. If you swap your Obstagoon into a Noctowl, even if it's only got 1 quick move off, you might be packing your Obsta bags, because yeah, that's not going to go well for you with that 1 quick move flip. And then Noctowl also wins anyway in the 2 shield, so and then Noctowl wins in the 2 shield anyway. Sorry Steve, just to interrupt, Obstagoon can actually beat Noctowl a lot cleaner going straight Night Slash, so there you go. Anyway, continue. Now, Ferrothorn, if you were running like Power Whip and Mirror Shot, you're going to be losing to all 5 Flyers. But if you run Power Whip and Thunder, you can actually land wins against Mantine, Noctowl and Pelipper. So I do think most people are leaning towards away from the sort of Noctowl and Pelipper, but still, you've got to win against Mantine and you do beat those anyway. Plus, you've got a little bit more play against Skarmory and Altaria, so definitely use Thunder Ferrothorn. I know we've kind of just been talking about how the Anti-Anti-Flyers can act as Anti-Flyers sometimes, but we were talking about the Flyers, so let's go back up there and see how they match up with the actual Anti-Flyers on the bottom left, because now we're going to be looking at when the Flyers actually beat the Anti-Flyers. So first up, Stunfisk is beating all 4 of those guys. What do you mean there's 5? Yeah, Mantine. Mantine continues its days of being an absolute pest, and not only can it beat Galarian Stunfisk straight Bubble Beam, but can also beat all of the other Anti-Flyers too. Can go straight Bubble Beam on Whiscash and Piloswine. It does need to land the Ice Beam on Wigglytuff, so realistically it might be Wigglytuff's to win. But yeah man, Mantine, just stick to the formula man, you're a flying type. Even Pelipper's taken the L and losing to Stunfisk, like man, come on dude. But anyway, Piloswine with its ice damage is going to be able to beat Skarmory, Altaria and Noctowl. It's not going to be able to conquer Pelipper, and again, Mantine, because of the water typing, negating that super effectiveness to ice. Wigglytuff, while Altaria is going to just melt to Wigglytuff's charms, Skarmory doesn't care a bit. With steel typing, it comes out on top. And then Noctowl and Pelipper are also losing to Wigglytuff, just not as hard as Altaria, because, you know, Altaria's got the dragon typing, doesn't like charm. And then there's a Whiscash, who is a bit of an because you need to get blizzards to be able to get the anti-flying thing going, because, you know, Mud Bomb sure isn't going to be doing anything. So if it can get them through though, Whiscash is able to beat out Altari and Noctowl, but it still isn't enough to beat down Skarmory, Pelipper, or Mantine. It really seems to me that Skarmory is kind of shaking out to be the supreme flyer, but that's going to obviously lead to more Skarmory counters in the form of things like Emolga or Charizard or Zapdos, so yeah, definitely be wary on that one. And we've talked about most of the matchups already by talking about the flyers, so let's focus now on the anti-flyer and the anti-anti-flyer relationship there. So again, there are the white arrows, which are pretty straightforward for the Pokemon on the right, because it's another case of everything on the left beats everything on the right. Vigoroth beats Obstagoon and Ferrothorn, Obstagoon beats Ferrothorn. Easy. The anti-flyers though, not so simple. All three of Whiscash, Wigglytuff and Stunfisk beat Piloswine, but then the three of them have a bit of a love triangle going on, with Stunfisk beating Wigglytuff, beating Whiscash, beating Stunfisk. And with Stunfisk being such a beast in this cup, with also beating out almost all of the flyers, it does certainly need counters, and speaking of counter, enter Vigoroth and Obstagoon, who both use counter and are going to be beating everything except Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff vs Vigoroth is kind of close, just because it has that normal typing, which is going to mean counter isn't as resisted, but unfortunately for Obstagoon, it has the dark typing, so it's just really going to melt to charm, and that could be an argument for running Gunk Shot on your Obstagoon to try and like wipe out a Wigglytuff if you can, but that's always going to be a risky play. Like, we'll just have to wait and see how the cup goes on, like what the best moveset is, whether you do want to go for that Gunk Shot for the chance of taking out fairies, or if you'd rather go for the more standard Night Slash and Cross Chop, just to have some kind of better matchups here or there. And then Ferrothorn, it's not some super Pokemon, but again, you can run Thunder on it for that extra flyer coverage, and then with Power Whip and Thunder, you beat all four of the anti-flyers, so pretty schmick if you ask me. And again, I need to emphasize this, countering Galarian Stunfisk is super important, because you're going to see that little trappy fish everywhere, and I think it's time to finally talk about the snowman in the room, and wait, what is that? A Abomasnow? Is that an Infinity Gauntlet? Oh no, Abomasnow, I can't believe you've done this. Okay, but really bring them back though, so we can talk about what it beats. Yeah, Abomasnow doesn't really fit well into this graphic, because it kind of just beats bits and pieces of everything. It beats Altaria from the Flyers with that ice damage, it beats Whiscash and Piloswine from the anti-Flyers, and then it also beats Ferrothorn from the anti-anti-Flyers, but I don't think that really does it justice, because it's only beating like a third of this graphic. Because the fact that it can really hit things for all over the meta for like pretty frequent damage is a solid effort. Plus it's one of the only sort of strong Mudboy counters in the cup, alongside Ferrothorn, but even Ferrothorn, it's got a steel typing going, it doesn't love getting hit with mud. But yeah, you're probably going to see a lot of Abomasnow around, so be sure to prepare for it with these other picks. The ones that didn't get snapped away, the Skarmory, Noctowl, Pelipper, Galarian Stunfisk, Wigglytuff, Vigoroth, Obstagoon. I miss Mantine too, and Mantine, but yeah. That is my Sunrise Cup meta simplified. That isn't everything that can be good. So example, there's Victini. Victini is actually kind of one that I kind of wanted to include here. It beats Vigoroth with straight confusion. It beats Stunfisk by doing a double V-create at the end, which it is a bit of a risky play, but it can beat out Stunfisk. I think it can even beat out a bunch of the Flyers too. So Victini is another kind of Abomasnow-ish kind of role where it beats bits and pieces everywhere. And also, again, there is that Sunrise Cup battle video that I've uploaded alongside this. If you wanted to check that out, you can click up there or in the description to watch that. But a massive thank you to Sylph for giving me an early look at the meta in order to get this infographic out, and I'm sure that it was a blast to be a part of the cup reveal stream too. I'm kind of recording this beforehand, so yeah, I'm just assuming it was good. So thank you, Sylph. I'm really looking forward to the new season, and also thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, best rest that subscribe one. Thank you to my patrons, Melissa 9458, brajSF 10, or Newman, Yahwertle, SqeakyNL, and Charizard Young for supporting the channel. And also thank you to Sadie Poo for the emote on Twitch, as well as Raider44 Maze for the 5 gifted subs, and Oscalicious for the sub. And yeah, go check out the battle video if you wanted, and I'll see you in the next Sunrise Cup video.